Speaking of LA, let's get over to LA because of all of the magic caused by these lower seeded teams and people saying like, "Oh, we shouldn't have expanded playoffs because it's too big and everybody gets in and blah 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 blah." Right? Like you've got Red Bull, you've got Atlanta, you've got New York City, all these teams like look at what's great about the playoffs. You know, David's beating Goliath, and then you get Colorado who are just like, "Yeah, we're gonna fold over 9-1 on aggregate and we'll see you next year." I mean, goodness me. I didn't. They were the one team to prove those complainers right.
That's the Chris Armas playoff special right there. That's what that is. You
Yeah,
should know that better than anybody.
you are 100% correct. 100% correct. I mean, let's just go through the stats here. By the way, purely embarrassing for Chris Armas' side. This is somebody who was he's in the Coach of the Year finalist.
Insane. First
And
of
we
all,
were
that's a whole
talking
separate
about.
conversation, but
Oh,
that's
it is.
insane.
We were talking about this on Battered MLS Fans when I did that show a couple weeks ago. Like, oh, who would you pick for Coach of the Year? And I can't remember who it was, but somebody threw Chris Armas' name in there. And I go, guys, like that was actually my first thought. And then I actually looked at what he did. At the time of recording, if things don't go his way, he's playing in the playing game. Like that is ridiculous. That's not a
Yeah.
Coach of the Year thing. Like that's not taking FC Cincinnati from three straight wooden spoons to a supporter shield. Like that is
And
taking.
doing it with like role players from the previous year. Like Armas had weapons to work with. They brought in Jordy, they brought in Stefan, like they loaded this team up ahead of the year. And it was
And
still
this is what
disappointing.
they get for it. Oh my goodness. Yeah, that is another
You,
conversation. We
you know,
haven't.
Colorado, they're currently, I mean, obviously they're out now, but they're technically currently on a 6 game losing streak.
Yes, yeah, I have that. I have that here, and we'll talk about one of the things that I noticed in that 6 game losing streak. But I do want to talk about the when we did the preview. It was this LA Galaxy front four, right? Puig, Puek, blah 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 blah. Puig, Peck, Paintsil, Joveljic. Say that 5 times fast.
We should
Um,
just give them all like the Pueh sound. So it's a
yeah,
Pointsill, Puek, Puig.
PPPJ. It's
Yeah.
It's not MSN. It's PPPJ.
I think
Um,
Joveljic needs to just change his last name. He needs to be Povelich now.
yeah, I'm here for it. Quad P. Yeah, I'm in. Yeah, let's talk 5-0 in the first leg, 4-1 in the second, and it was 4 goals and an assist from Puig, 2 goals and an assist from Joveljic, a goal and 3 assists from Peck, and then I don't know what the heck Paintsil was doing, only 1 goal and 0 assists. What a bum! Sell
Scrub.
him, get him out of here. Um, Armas' side looked flat, uncompetitive. Prime example of why these expanded playoffs are bad. But I do want to know your thoughts. I want to hear it from you.
I think it's kind of a double-edged sword where it's like I think the Galaxy look great. I don't want to podcast curse them, but I might do it here. I think they are the front runners for MLS Cup right now. They feel like the far and away best team in the playoffs at the moment, mainly because of this attack. This attack is insanely good. And I don't know if there's any defense left. Maybe Seattle, who can stop them, but it's going to be a tough task for everybody. And the other edge of the sword is, yeah, Colorado just not as good as people make them out to be. That's just what I think. But you should take that. I was a Colorado hater since the start of the season, so I am biased 100%. Um, I said that they wouldn't do very, very well this year, and I guess some of that was true. But this is kind of the Colorado I was expecting to see more throughout the year. But yeah, I mean, the Galaxy look amazing. They, I get that they played a struggling team right now, so you could kind of be like, all right, well, what are they going to do against a team that's playing a little bit better in Minnesota? But I still think they got to be the heavy favorites because they look great. Like you said, they just look fearless out there. Like we're gonna stick 4 or 5 past you and don't even care how many goals we concede because we'll just outscore you.
All right. Well, Galaxy fans, when you guys lose 2-0 to Minnesota and none of those guys have any sort of goal contributions at all, or even shots, when you guys lose this game and you have 0 shots, you know who to blame. Um,
Listen, Minnesota fans, I'm doing this for you. You can be friends of the
no,
pod again.
enemies of the pod. You curse the enemies of the pod, not the
I'm
Galaxy.
trying to win
You
them back over.
no, no, we don't want them back. Oh man, this is twofold for me, and firstly, we're going to start with Colorado. This is a Colorado team that is a one or two man show. No, in the first game, no Mihailovic, no Cole Bassett. In the second game, no Cole Bassett. And I looked this up because I noticed that streak of 6 games they didn't end the year in. Cole Bassett played in all of the games except 6. Those last 4 and these 2 he missed out on, and they got beat 19-4 in goals against and goals for. Is that a coincidence? Maybe. But if you're getting beaten down that badly because you don't have depth for one key player, that's kind of a red flag, right? Maybe you want to address that in the offseason.
Maybe.
Maybe. I
I,
mean, it
I,
depends.
I do want to quick rant before we move on to the next one. Um, this is like the cherry on top of an absolute awful season for Zach Steffen, and yet he is still getting called into the USMNT team over people like Matt Faris. Like, what are we doing here? This guy was literally he was either worst or second worst in PSXG plus minus the entire season, and then he gives up 9 goals in the first round of the playoffs. And we're like, yeah, get him in my national team. He played in Europe one time.
I almost wonder if this was like a Colorado have been out for a while. Because if you look, every player who's in from MLS in that roster, all are out. So I'm almost wondering if this was kind of predetermined and it was okay, we're not going to call anybody in because we're not going to take them away and risk them getting hurt or whatever. Because Potch was hanging out with Daddy Don all day during Orlando and Charlotte's third game. So I'm almost wondering if it was like, hey man, don't take our players and get them hurt. We've got a whole conspiracy theory section in the Eastern Conference, so you just hang on for that.
Oh, I'm
Um,
excited for that. I'm here
yeah,
for it.
yeah. My second point was something you already hit on was do the LA Galaxy look like the favorites? And I don't think it would be insane to say yes, especially with what happened in the East. If you don't know, you're gonna know. When you run out a lineup of Puig, Peck, Paintsville, Povolic, and then their reserves include Marco freaking Royce and Gaston Brugman coming off the bench, like that's wild. Even Diego Fagundes, who is, an MLS kind of lifer, but a solid contributing MLS lifer. Um, it is a very, very interesting proposition for Greg Vanney to get right. Um, their back line is holding stronger than any of us expected, and that's because of the work of Marky Delgado and Edwin Cerrillo in front of them. They're doing a ton of work to make sure that they are not exposed. But are they exposable? Yes. But you need to do it like 4 times a game because you will not be able to stop them from scoring. So you need to expose them. You need to find ways to get at them. They've only been shut out twice this season, so to beat them and do that is going to be a tough, tough ask.
100%. Yeah.